And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from CMG Financial, Eliot Rodriguez back with us. Morning, Eliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How are you today?
It's Friday.
It is Friday. Have you been out to the fair yet this week? Or
I have not yet.
okay.
I
didn't know if you going to try to go this weekend? Or
most likely. I was there before everything started because
Gotcha.
my wife wanted to get into the art and craft stuff.
Okay.
But I haven't gone since, everything
Okay.
started.
Well, good deal. Well, the truth is he's probably busy helping people, doesn't have time to get out there to do social things at the fair. But maybe he'll work some time in this weekend.
You ain't lying about time. I mean, me and Ted goes 12 rounds when it come about time management and stuff like that. And I told him, wait a minute. How can it be time management when I'm working the whole entire time, 24 hours?
It's like I managed to find some time. That's what
that's the time management we need. I need to some time for myself. No, and my wife, she's like I always say, she's my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah,
because she's been there, and she's sometimes kind of like, you need to change another job or something because you need time for me.
She needs to shut you down for a little bit. She steps in and wrangles you in a little bit there. I think all husbands have that going on at some point too, because we need it. To be honest, most of us do.
We need to work.
But folks, if you're not familiar with our previous conversations with Eliot, Eliot at CMG Financial, he is the man that can help you get the money to pay for your home. He's the guy that helps families obtain their mortgages, help them get all of the financial aspects of a home purchase for families, getting that done. One thing that I think Eliot has a special niche for is our first-time home buyers, families that, especially families that think that they can't afford it right now, and Eliot comes in and says, oh yeah, you're paying a rent right now, you can afford that. Let's turn that into money working for you instead of paying somebody else's mortgage. Mm-hmm. Let's do that paying for yourself. And that's where he helps and creates plans. And for folks that are not there yet, he helps them get there. And I say this in third person as I look at him, but this is what Eliot.
No, yeah. I mean, I love helping people that they're never own a home. Yeah. Obviously, if you want to buy a house, I'm here for you just the same. Sure. Okay, if you already own a home or whatever.
If you're an expert or new first time, Eliot's got you covered.
But you're right. I mean, I love helping the first time home buyers because it's such a rewarding outcome in the end.
Well, so, because in essence, you're teaching them a game plan for life.
And I hope they listen. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that you and I go on all the time. If they listen to what I tell them from the very beginning, and especially if they're having a little trouble with credit and they kind of fix it, and I tell them do this and do that, please continue doing that afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Saving money is a must, and after you buy a house, you should continue saving money.
Sure.
It doesn't mean you need to put tons of money away because I told you to. It's just more like save some money for the rainy days. If you were ever sick, if you ever get laid off, okay? I mean, that's happening. COVID-19, a lot of people were like, COVID-19 came, people lost their jobs, some kind of stuff, all right? I mean, people are not getting fired, they're getting laid off. It's happening, okay?
Absolutely,
all across the board, in every business, okay? And that's one of the things that is tough. But at the same time, there's more jobs out there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it may be a little, what we call it, an unasteroid. Like it's a little more than usual. But at the same time, there's also more jobs available as well.
If you plan well, you're able to weather those storms.
Exactly.
And even if you have to go to another job that pays less, if you're saving and doing things like you're supposed to, then you at least can use that as a stopgap to bring in some income until you can get back to careers paying what you're supposed to be getting.
Exactly.
And that's this is the thing I love to say to people is we love to help others and say, hey, I'll give you this, I'll give you what you need food, I'll give you food and all this, and we are willing to help other people. But when it comes to your finances and your own lifestyle, you should be willing to do that for yourself. And this is what Eliot's really at the end of the day trying to teach you. I mean, the house is the symptom, or a house is what, like the paper thing or the tangible thing you're looking at and saying, that's what I want. But he's not giving you a lesson to buy a house. He's giving you a lesson to run your household finances so that this house is the springboard to the next thing you want it to be. Whether it's this house and you're going to remodel, renovate it, make it your forever home, or if this is your first home that you're saying, you know what, this is going to be the one we start our family with, but in a couple years we're going to need another bedroom, we're going to need a bigger house or a better neighborhood or whatever your things are. But that's what Eliot's building for you, is that plan to, so wherever you want to take it, whether you want to move every 10 years or 2 years or stay in one house for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that could be your forever home. I mean, there you go. I mean,
this is, he helps you give a plan together that takes you in the direction you want to take it in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we need to adjust, from whatever is happening, and whatever is happening in our country, do the best we can. I mean, I spoke here before. I mean, this is USA. This is America.
Mm-hmm.
Land of the free. There may be a lot of crazy things happening, but still the land of the free.
Absolutely,
okay?
Yeah.
And the goal is to go and reach out for your dream. And if your dream is buying a home, which I will hope that's the dream for everybody, okay? Because that's one of the biggest things you're ever going to do in your life.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody needs a home. You
gotta live somewhere.
You need to live somewhere. You're either renting, living, shacking up with family, whatever it may be. Okay? The time to get your home, like I always said, is now.
Yeah.
If we can get it now, let's put the plan in place. Why we cannot get it now, and let's fix it and get it there.
Sure. Because once you're in, you're in.
You're in. You got it. It's yours.
You're building towards you. Once you get that now, and you're building to bigger, better things. So even if that first house is not your dream house, or not even the house that you really want to spend a whole lot of time in, but guess what? It's your stake in the game. Now you put a little money in it. Maybe you look at it like a live-in flip for a little bit. It's like, all right, I got to live here 3 years before I can sell this thing again.
Exactly.
But in that 3 years, I'm going to make it. I'm going to appreciate the value of it as much as I can. And as I'm paying the monthly payments here, I'm building up some equity. And then in 3 years, I've got either enough equity or enough value in this property where I can turn it around and make enough money to be in a bigger, nicer house.
Exactly.
And that's really how it works.
I mean, my first home that I ever bought, I thought that was going to be my forever home. It was my first marriage. Okay. Yeah. I was still married to the wife that thought it was going to be my forever wife.
Yeah, no one has plans of it being different at the time,
exactly.
Right? Yeah,
exactly. And I remember, the wonderful woman that I'm married to right now today, she actually got to live in that house. So I was thinking that was going to be the forever house, but I bought another house and I rented that when I ended up coming back to that house.
Sure.
So it's very funny. The point the reason that I brought that back in is because you buy a home. Hopefully that is your forever home.
Yeah.
But if it happens not to be, like you just said, maybe in 3 years, 5 years, maybe you have more babies, so
life happens.
Things take control and move forward, right?
Absolutely.
If that happens, then you grow, you are bigger. So now maybe you need a bigger home. If you do the right thing from yourself, you'll be okay to buy another home later. Okay.
You're setting yourself up for whatever direction your life goes in later.
In this country, I'm sorry, if I understand bad things happen to some people.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I don't believe oh my God, the world's going to end kind of deal because this happens to me. Well, you know what? Shake it off, move on. Let's go into a
little preparation, little bit plan of action. You're able to navigate whatever goofiness happens.
I mean, I come from very humble beginnings. I mean, I'm an emancipated minor. I started from nothing.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And I done.
So you've been on your own for more than the average person.
Oh, yes. I started, when I was 17 years old on my own, And one of the things that a lot of us, and I have to include us together because sometimes we forget where we live. We live in an awesome country that gives us so many opportunities. It's up to us to do what we need to do.
Right.
If you have some support and, as you go to here and there, that's awesome. Okay. I give thank you to God and thank you to some of the people that have supported me throughout my, my career and everything that I've done because I came from nowhere to where I am now and I've done pretty well, thank God, and I can complain about some things, but guess what? Nobody listens when you complain. Okay, so it's best to talk about the good stuff.
Unless you're willing to listen to their complaints.
Exactly. And sometimes that's never good.
Right.
But the thing is, this is the dreams to come true is up to you, and they're there for the taking, and that is the fact. Okay, I know our country is going through a turmoil over a lot of things for the past couple of years. Okay, and it's not going to be over anytime soon. We're still dealing with stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think we're still evolving and figuring out how it's going to be done.
Sure.
And unfortunately, some of the leaders that we have maybe have taken good choices and bad choices. It's a mix of everything.
Sure.
So the point is this: you can't weigh on them.
Oh,
It has to be on you.
Well,
to be able to take it to the next level, to take care of yourself.
Well, and this is how people succeed no matter what.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at during the previous administration, you look at the finances in the world and things are. Now we're in a different administration with a different world. Inflation's up, prices are up. But people that prepare and just kind of have a plan and are consistent, yeah, sure, that might, it stinks and impacts, like, man, I'm paying more for gas or whatever it is. But because you planned and you have money, you're able to weather when less money's coming in or more money's coming in. This is the difference. This is how families. When you look at someone, they got the 2 cars and the 3-bedroom house with the picket fence and the 2.5 kids and all that. That success happens because of planning. You start out, young and hungry, and you're doing everything. You're busting your hump to try to get established. Then life happens. You meet people and you get married, and all these things happen. And but if you still try to live your finances like you're a single person in your 20s, when you're now married and have a family, you're going to be in a lot of problems and a lot of trouble. You're going to find yourself feeding yourself hand to mouth, waiting paycheck to paycheck, trying to do all that. And a lot of people live that way. A lot of people that you thought had more money than they did live that way.
Correct.
There are people. It's not always about the income you bring in. I know a lot of people that make 10 times more money than I do, but they're broke because they don't know how to spend it. And that's what it's all about. You can be a millionaire and still be broke.
That's true.
And if you don't know what you're doing. And this is what we're talking about. You take the same ideology that the people that are millionaires and just the discipline of it, and you apply that in your own world, and you're going to find that whenever they're on the news and this and job losses, that's like, man, this stinks. But guess what? It's not impacting you because you have a plan.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between success and failure in this country.
Yeah, I remember back in 2006 and 7 when we had that issue with mortgages and all that. It's funny. That's actually when I started when I became a lender. Okay, which is funny because that means I went heads in. Okay, so I didn't walk in to see how cold the water was and nothing. I went all the way in. And I was a new lender, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know anything about predatory lending and all that stuff. But the reality is, it happened.
Sure.
Okay. There were in the lending part there were bad things, and in the borrowing side there were bad things. So it's a mix of both.
Absolutely.
And the thing that it was funny is that I came into the market at that time. So going through all that and learning how to do it the right way after the fact, okay, it taught me a lot of lessons, and that had took me for a long time. And I used to sell vacuum cleaners, so I used to do a bunch of loans, personal loan and this and that.
Sure.
So I was like, I want to do bigger loans,
Right. You want to
never in my life thought I was going to be helping people buy houses.
Yeah, you went from like $1,500 loans to hundreds of $1,000s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like, what is that, 1,000-fold? Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you follow, okay, your path of what you need, and you have a dream, and the dream should be to buy a house together, okay? Because if you're renting or whatever, or living with somebody, you actually have a job and you're doing the right thing for yourself, you should be able to buy a house.
Sure.
And that's what we are here for,
And that's where, if you're not quite there yet, because you learn credit the hard way, and you got a 600 or 500 credit score right now, and you're trying to get into something that where lenders will talk to you, that's where Eliot will say, you know what? Give me 6 months. Give me do this, this, and this.
Sometimes it's sooner than that.
Yeah, sometimes it's less. It may be a month or a couple of weeks. Maybe it's a couple phone calls and getting some stuff off the credit report that shouldn't be there to begin with. But sometimes it does require creating a plan, because that's the key. Is if you've got yourself into a situation where you've got more money going out than coming in. And that's what happens if you're not organized or at least on top of it. That's what happens. And that's because if again, this is going back to treating your finances like a single person versus being a family.
Exactly.
You know, when you're a single person, every financial thing's pretty much going through you. So you kind of got, all right, I know I spent $10 at McDonald's the other day. It means I can't spend as much here. And so, but when you get more people, and then it's like, oh, what do you want to do for dinner? I don't feel like cooking. Let's go out tonight. And you do that 3 nights in a row, and you dropped $100 on food that you didn't have the money for, and now you have no money. And that's what's happening is people are doing that kind of stuff. And it's about prioritizing what you do.
Exactly.
Plan a little bit. Okay, we got a family now. We can't go to McDonald's every day. That's too expensive. But you know what? All right, we've got a grocery budget. Let's go and and that's what you got. How much are you spending a month on this? How much are you spending a month on this? Can you spend less? Do you have to spend that much? And that's where Ellie can sit down with you and say, let's go line by line here and figure out why you're spending more money than you got coming in.
A sweet lady that I did a loan about 2 months ago or so, and I think I mentioned it on a different show. She told me, "You told me to save, Elliot." And I went to Texas, and I usually go shopping and I spend this, and I went and I stopped myself from spending a bunch of money because she was in the process of buying a house.
Sure.
And she told me, I got this much saved. I said, you did? I'm like, awesome. That's very good. Good job. She said, Elliot, it was not that hard. It's like when she told me that, it's like, okay, cool. So at least I'm not talking crazy.
Sure. It's all up here.
It's,
the hard
it's
part's
up to
in
you.
your head.
Yeah, it's all in your head. And like I said, when I bought my first home back then, I mean, I had no idea. I really thought actually, in many ways, even my wife and I right now would love to have picked up the house and brought it over here. Because, I remodeled it afterwards and everything, and it made it look beautiful, okay? And we kind of tend to do that to every home that we have lived.
Sure.
So it's up to you what you want to do. You follow my lead. You follow what I tell you, Trust me, I'm not going to be telling you to break any rules. I don't even try to bend any rules either, because when you bend them too much, they end up breaking eventually.
Sure.
Okay? So just follow my lead.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. And I'll promise you'll get a house. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and you have nothing to worry about. If you do the right thing, and you have nothing to worry about.
Exactly. That's the whole point. You know, I talk about all kinds of different things that some lenders bending the rules, taking chances that they shouldn't be taking. Compromising stuff. You know what? If I tell you no, you cannot do that. I'm sorry. I don't do that. We don't operate like that here in our office. There's a reason for that, because I want to be here for you 6 months from now.
Sure.
Or a year from now. Not. Let's do whatever it takes and break any rules. And sure, hey, you come back, Elliot's not there no more.
Well, and that's where, and I want to get real philosophical here, but when we talk about capitalism and all that, capitalism works, and we're proof of that. But it's at its greatest and works the best, and really is when it's good business, when it's people ethically doing things, and that's where it gets the bad name, is because people figure out loopholes and things, and so I'm telling you this, and this is a lesson that's hard to learn, but once you learn it, you'll find life's a little easier.
Of course.
There's no shortcuts in life. There just isn't. Everyone, if someone's telling you there's a quicker way to get rich, or a quicker way to lose weight, or a quicker way to do, they're lying to you. There is no way. Sure, they can make it look that way, but guess what? Guys like Bernie Madoff went that route, and guess where they're at now? That's where that goes. That's where, even if you have no intention of that, you compromise one moral, then you're willing to compromise another one, and that's
true.
And that's where if you stay above board and know and do that, I guarantee you'll be okay. And okay, you may not be the billionaire quick like Bernie Madoff, but guess what? You're not going to jail a month later, 6 months
and that's
later
true.
either.
I mean, and let me tell you something. When I was younger, I used to love watching all these shows that says, buy this for $29.95, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Let me tell you something, guys.
Yeah.
Nothing against marketing and stuff like that. There's some good products and stuff out there that help people, and you have to apply yourself to do so. But let's be realistic.
Sure.
If I'm a millionaire, why am I going to give it to you for $29.95? Come on. So
I'm going to get mine. Don't you worry.
Exactly. So now a lot of those things work, and you just have to apply yourself to do so.
Sure.
And that's the fact. I remember, because I always wanted to get into real estate for some crazy reason. It was like in the back of my head.
Sure.
I got into this program that for buying homes. Tax. When people have tax late and stuff like that. There's homes that people lose because they didn't pay the taxes, which
Sure.
I'm never gonna understand that. But hey, to each his own, right?
Right. That's a different debate. For
That's
a different day.
That's a different area. And I remember, and it's very obtainable. It's there, but you have to apply yourself. You have to go to those meetings. You have to go to the options. You have
Sure.
to go. So it's not that simple,
You got to remember, no one's going to be a bigger advocate for you
than
you.
yourself.
Exactly. And if you rely on other people to be that, then you might. I'm not saying you're going to end up bad, but you're opening yourself up for that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing right here with CMG Financial.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in the business of making dreams come true for people. Okay, getting you your home. All right, our company is a great company. Okay, and we try to get better as we go. And hopefully I'll get better as I go as well.
You get the best of both worlds. You got CMG, which is a large private company. It's not publicly traded, which there's advantage to that.
It's
that
an
means
awesome, good thing.
and in the financial world, that means they get to make decisions based on what's best for their customers.
Exactly.
Whereas a publicly traded company, they're answering to stockholders, which means as long as the bottom dollar's raking in the numbers they care about, everybody's happy.
Exactly.
If it benefits you, okay. If it doesn't, okay. It doesn't matter. Where a privately owned company like CMG, they're like, no, we're not publicly traded. We succeed when our clients succeed.
I know.
And so that's the difference. They gotta basically CMG is earning your business. The other companies are earning the stockholders' pensions. Is what they're doing.
I know. We were. I pay attention to some of the videos that our CEO is awesome. He sends videos to us, monthly. I remember when I was at Wells, like our CEO, I knew the name. I didn't even know what he looked like at first.
Sure.
So until they started going to Congress and started answering questions, then I saw him on TV.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different story as well.
Well, that's just it. They you know what? They come up there and they look like a fool and they know it, but then they leave and they're like, well, I'm laughing. Okay, I got shredded here, but I'm laughing all the way to the bank because I just bilked everybody out of this money and now I'm good to go. So yeah, they got embarrassed on TV, but who's laughing now? They just got away with it. I mean,
it's awesome. Our CEO, he started out of his garage.
Yeah.
Like one of those.
Yeah.
And that's, like we were talking in the beginning of our conversation today. It's America, dreams come true. You make things happen if you put your effort into it.
Absolutely.
Buying a home is just the same. Here in CMG Financial, we really believe to help you. Okay, because it's every customer, every time.
Yeah.
No exceptions, no excuses. We believe that. Now, you have to do what we ask you. And we have talked about a lot of different things about, first-time home buying. The first thing you need to do is to get to talking to me, okay, even Ted, all right, and do an application with us, and then we'll put a plan in place, to get you going. And
you should do this before
you start looking at
talk to a
houses.
real estate agent, before you get on your realtor.coms and Zillow.coms and all this out there, before you do any of that.
Yes, please.
That way you're because, and I know that's the fun part. That's the part we all love doing. It's like, ooh, I love that bathroom. I can picture myself in there. That's the fun part of home buying. But it's so much more fun when you're doing it in a area where like, so now you talk to Eliot. Eliot's like, all right, great. We're looking at your situation here. I think based on the payments you want and we're going in and your situation right now, we could comfortably put you in a $200,000 house. Now you know that, and you're like, okay, now I'm going onto the market educated. I'm not looking at just every house on the market going, man, that's nice. I wonder if I can afford it. To like, oh, that one's $500,000. I need to stay away from that one. Here's one at $200,000. Yeah,
it's a big mistake looking at a bunch of houses.
Yeah.
When you don't know what you can afford.
Exactly.
That's a big problem, and it happens constantly. Second, when I get you pre-approved, all right, we give you a list of all the stuff we need. Yes. I'm telling you, yes, you could buy a house for this much.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you still need to give me all the stuff that I need from you.
Well, yeah, the numbers you're giving him are based off the information. You just don't pull them out of thin air.
Yeah, it doesn't come out of
Bad information goes in, bad information comes out.
Exactly.
That's just science. That's how it works.
And I know I'm known to be Mr. Harry Potter, but come on, at the same time, it's very difficult.
If you tell him that you have no behind bills and all this, and he's like, yeah, you should be golden, and then he goes and looks, and your credit score's 6, and you haven't paid a bill on time in 100 years, then he's going to be like, well, the numbers I gave you aren't going to be quite right.
Now, for all these folks out there listening, if you have money at home in cash, okay, and you haven't made the move to start looking for a home, put the money in the bank right away, right now. Even if you're not even going to buy a house, but you may be thinking it's in the back of your mind, and you have 5, 10 grand, 15 grand.
Pull it out from under the mattress, wherever you keep it.
Put it in the bank right now. Don't wait. Everybody's like, but if I put too much money, the government is gonna like. You know what? It's money that you've been working for. It's not gonna be a problem. Okay. It's misconceptions about the way everything works.
Well, even if you have a chunk of change sitting in a savings account, it's making more money than sitting under the mattress.
Well, you know what? If the house burns, now
and then your money's gone.
It's gone.
At least that money in the savings.
If the wrong person came to your house, the money's gone too.
FDIC insured, so guess what? It's not gone.
Exactly.
If the bank burns down, you still got your money.
A lot of people worry because the banks did this, the bank did that. Oh, they stole money from me before. Guess what? As long as it's in record, you'll get your money back.
Sure.
Don't be afraid of putting your money in the bank. I need you to have the money in the bank. If you have cash on, the worst things that ever happen is that somebody does an application.
Sure.
I get them all pre-approved, and they tell me they have, for example, $10,000 in the bank. Like, okay, we go. Then we don't even need to ask the buyer, the buyer for any money, the seller for any money. Blah blah blah. We're perfect. And then I get all the stuff, all the paperwork, bank statements, and they only have a couple grand in the bank. And like, where's the other 8,000?
Sitting in my house.
And like, I got 10,000 at home.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Well, if it's not in something we can see, then it does exist.
And I know everybody's like, but why? But why? The point is this: every loan that we do is a federal loan. Okay. And remember, the government isn't everything that we deal with, unfortunately. Okay. And just the way it is. But
it's all about transparency.
It's all about transparency. You hear all politicians talking about that. Guess what? When you're buying a house, you're a lot more transparent than a lot of these people because you have to truly give me what you have. A lot of people, but why? It's like, okay, I'm going to give you money so you could buy a house.
Sure. Well, that's just it. At the end of the day, CMG is saying, I'm about to give you $200,000, more money than probably most of us will ever see in our lifetime.
Exactly.
How many of us could say we held a check for 200 grand? Not very many people could say that. So guess what? They're going to want to make sure that they're investing in someone that's going to be good. They are not in the charity business. Now, granted, they will work with you, talk with you. They want to make your dream happen, but they're not a soup kitchen. They ain't going to give you free money. They're going to make sure they're giving it to people that will pay it back, will be good for paying this loan. So, because that's good for their business too, and it's good for your business. And at the end of the day, while you're paying that loan, your credit's getting better and better and better, and you're getting more and more command.
Yep.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
In 3 to 6 months, let's say your credit score was 650, 620, something like that, and you were able to still buy a house. Okay, because in most cases that might be the case. 3 months, 6 months, your credit score is going to spice up. Okay, and that's the fact.
Yeah.
Because now you have a mortgage, like you always say. Now you're part of the game.
Sure.
Really, truly part of the game.
Absolutely.
And the part that is most important is that you are putting money into yourself. You putting money into your family, giving your family a place to live that is yours.
Sure.
Okay. And I believe that's priceless.
And you're a less risk to other creditors. I mean, and what I mean by that is, I know this sounds funny in this day and age, but if you've got an address, that's your address, it's not a rented, more than likely you're going to be staying put. And so you're less of a flighty person.
Yeah, it's a different risk.
So when someone's looking, even if your credit's like not 800 and they're looking, well, he's got a mortgage, but he's paying his bills relatively, but he's behind on some credit cards or whatever, so it's dipped a little bit. But this is not a risk that he's not going to fly on us or she's not going to fly on us.
Exactly.
Here. And so you actually get a stronger consideration when you have a home. And now if you're bankrupt and defaulting, that's going to be a different story. But if you're making payments and doing your thing and you need another line of credit or a new phone or whatever that someone else is checking your credit on, that home ownership, even if it is stretching your dollar a little bit, will give you a little bit more standing versus. And that's one of the few that helps. It's like if you have a bunch of credit cards, even if you don't have balances on them, that's not good for your credit score.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah, you want some, but not too many.
Exactly.
And but a house is going to be a good thing every time.
And another thing that is very important. This is mainly for first-time home buyers. stop listening to a lot of your friends that are telling you, well, I did this, I did that. Their situation may be 100% different than yours. Okay. And that's the biggest mistake that I've seen a lot lately, but why can I do this? My friend did this. It's like maybe your friend, was on a first time home buying program. Maybe your friend has 800 credit score. You don't know that. Okay.
Sure.
So they may be making an example of what they did, but they're not giving you all the facts.
Absolutely.
Any lender you might be working me, any other bank, I don't care who it is. Listen to your lender, okay? And hopefully you have a good lender that is listening to you and doing what it needs to be done for real.
Absolutely.
But don't listen to people that are not the ones licensed or specialists on this, because they went from one experience that yours it might be different.
Sure.
And I see this all the time. And like I was saying, if I'm asking you for stuff, okay, yes, it's something that you don't deal with every day, but there's simple stuff.
Sure.
Okay.
And let's face it, too, like you're talking about, they got a house, but also, too, well, maybe their family's smaller than yours, and they didn't need a 4-bedroom.
Exactly.
You need a 4-bedroom. Guess what? Generally speaking, 4-bedroom houses are more expensive than a 2-bedroom because it's a bigger house.
There's so many factors that will be determining what they did that you maybe didn't do. I mean, I remember a customer, back when I was at the other company, and they came to my office and they're like, everything good, blah, blah. I was giving them a good thing. They basically were not saying nothing about putting extra more money or anything like that. It was straightforward, simple, minimum down payment. Did their numbers. And the first thing she came and told me, oh, but my friend in Albuquerque did this, and they gave her this, And
that's a different housing market altogether.
That's also too.
It is here.
Oh, I found out in the end that she still never got, because she didn't go with me. So, folks, yeah, sometimes I lose one. Okay? But the thing is this. I tell them I can actually meet their numbers because, when I play with my, my calculator and all this and that, and when I find a different program that they qualify for, and I was very close to do the same thing, if not better, because I was not charging them the same amount of money that the other place did. The funniest thing is, they were not first-time home buying. The people in Albuquerque were.
And that makes a
huge difference.
And that's another part, too. If you've never bought a home before, there are a lot of first-time home buyer programs and various things. A lot of people think VA and sure.
Exactly.
But if you're a teacher, if you're a law enforcement.
Oh, man. There's so many different things out there.
Different industries.
We have MFA. The state of New Mexico helps you. If you qualify, okay? You have to call me so we can find out what we can do, okay? They'll give you some assistance for the down payment. Okay. Talking about free money. Come on, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's be realistic. It's there. It's just you have to move forward and do it. Okay.
And Ellie can put those on your map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so many different programs that I can go on and on. And even for the people that already own a home and they want to buy another home, the state of New Mexico still even helps those.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you had to come to me and ask me, this is my situation. This is what I like to try to do. Can we do that? What can we do to do so?
And to be honest, like my wife and I, like but as our marriage together, we've bought and owned 2 homes since we've been together. We've rented 2 also, but since we've been homeowners for the last 15 years or whatever now, the first home, my wife's a teacher. I didn't even touch my my VA stuff.
Okay,
didn't even touch it. We bought that house and did all that. And then the second time here, we lived in it for 10 years. Then the second time I was like, well, I haven't used my VA stuff yet. So I went in and used. So basically, I used first-time buyer programs twice.
So your loan officer didn't advise you to do your VA at all.
Yeah,
he didn't ask you. Okay?
Yeah,
that's another thing, guys. If you're listening, okay, you need to talk to us, okay, and open up. Okay, look at me like a lawyer, like a doctor, a psychologist. What you tell me, it stays right here. Okay. If I ever use any comments about you or anybody, it's more of a general thing. I will never talk about somebody's information as far as like, yeah, Mike told me this, and that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, my winters have this much money in the bank. Let me tell you guys. No, but the point is what I'm trying to tell you.
Much, by the way.
the fact that what I'm trying to tell you is that you have to trust the person that is going to help you buy a home.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Heed that advice.
Exactly. Listen, because let me tell you something. My business is to help you get a home. Okay? Make your dreams come true to get a home.
Absolutely.
I don't have any other agenda. Okay? I love to help people. That's my agenda personally.
Sure.
Okay? But my agenda is to help you find the house that you want, you know, and we get you in touch with agents that are available if you don't have one, okay? And let's be realistic. I'm going to give you the money. The company that I work for is awesome. They're so cool. They want to give you money to buy houses, okay? The point is this. All I need you to do is follow my lead.
Sure.
You know, provide the items that I
Let me be
require
your
from
guide
you.
for this.
Yeah, let me be the guy. You know, I'm there from the beginning to the end. I even go to my closings with you. If I don't go to the closing, it's because
go look on his Facebook page. You see his closing pics all the time. Of
Look me up. You know, and that, guys, this is not everybody because not everybody they want to put their pictures up. Okay,
right. But as many as that are willing.
as many as allow me to.
Yeah.
You know, check me out. Go on to my website. See the comments from customers.
Yeah.
What they saying about CMG. Go and find out about CMG, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I just saw the time. We better wrap this up here. But please go to his website. Go email him here. Call him if you'd rather talk to Eliot live. I'm going to give his cell number because he's in and out of the office.
Yes,
and
we are.
COVID and everything too. So probably better to leave a voicemail on the cell.
Yeah, we're doing everything by appointments right now.
Very good. To get that appointment or get a conversation with Eliot, you can call him at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can also email him, Rodriguez at cmgfi.com. Again, that's Rodriguez at cmgfi.com. Or you can go to his website, which is the same pretty much, erodriguez.cmgfi.com. Am I right there?
Yeah.
Do I give too many dots?
Without the ad.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing without the ad. Replace the ad with a dot.
Exactly.
And it'll take you where you need to go.
And you get to see, you could go and check out, you know, CMG, what we're all about. Okay. You get to see some testimonials. Okay. These are people that I don't even ask them. You know, they actually do it. You know, I probably have more if I ask, but
you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. I think it's, if they want to do it, do it.
You get the hometown, local that you want. When you're making a big decision like this, but you got the backing and power of a large company that can get you rates and things competitive to all the big boys, and that's what you got going on here. So.
My VP from our area told me Eliot is very passionate about what he does. You know, was telling somebody is going to be trying to help me to get things done, and he's like, he just had to let go because he tries to control everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, you know, because you're trying to help these people. And you want them to succeed and get a home. And sometimes having an eye on everything is what makes a difference, okay?
Sure.
But no, guys, CMG is here to help you be able to accomplish that dream of owning your own home.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for somebody that actually cares, I'm your guy. I'll listen to you.
Absolutely.
If we cannot do it this very second, we'll talk and we'll put a plan in place. And I'll promise you do what I ask you, I'll get you a house.
It's the biggest decision in your life. Let's have a guy in your corner helping you make that decision.
Because I don't have any other agenda but help you buy a home.
Yeah,
no, that's just the reality. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll
my pleasure. Thank you for having me again.
Anytime. All right. Quick